Hi, I'm Amber and I'm an intuition and subconscious breakthrough mentor. I created this podcast for you to show you your infinite potential, help you break down the barriers to more love in your life, and to make joy a choice by listening to your intuition. No matter if you're married or single, this show is for you because the world would be a much more loving and better place if we learned to all date ourselves. Together we let go of fears and resistance around your dream life so you can show up in your full authenticity. Disclaimer, listening to this podcast might result in a continuous glow up. Let's start the show. Hi my love, welcome to episode 14 where I will be going deeper into how I've manifested my deeper friendships, my soul sisters, but I don't want to exclude any other gender, so take it how it resonates. But yeah, through the years I've rekindled with a lot of people, but I've also let a lot of people go, as I've told in previous episodes, and I found this necessary to be able to find myself, but also to find a group of people that resonated with the real me, my energy. And as we grow and evolve so much, it's inevitable that some people are only going to be present in certain phases of our lives. And although we don't want that, right? We love the comfort zone. We have maybe spent a lot of time with certain people that mean a lot to us. These people that are around us influence us so much that it's really important to make sure that the people that are around you are positive, uplifting, and giving you strength, giving you compassion, courage. And so how did I find those people around me? Because I am maybe the most grateful of anything in my life, and that's like my friendships, because they go deep. I know that my girls are there to support me, and I find that a really valuable thing, to be able to build on people and know that you can trust them, right? And that hasn't always been the case, but I've also known a lot of people who I'm really grateful that were in my life. I'm grateful for any interaction I've had with anyone who have crossed my path, which might sound really corny, but I truly believe that we all give each other perspective into who we are at that moment in time. It's just to say that as you change, your circle changes, and that is okay. And how can you manifest those people that resonate with you now? So you might have heard people say that the 5 people you are around the most influence who you are right now. So if you are thinking about your circle now, do you find those people inspiring? Do you resonate with them on a deeper level? Are you able to find comfort? Are you leaving with more energy than when you came to them? I think that those things are really important to acknowledge to ourselves, like how the people around us make us feel and what it is that we truly need. So, for example, if people are not really inspiring you or you feel drained, know that that is not normal. I used to think that that was normal until I got really fed up and I just couldn't anymore, right? There is this breaking point where you're just like, okay, I don't think that I enjoy this anymore. It doesn't have to be draining. For me, I am a person who is going deep with everybody, so it doesn't matter if I know you or not. Probably we'll be talking about our life stories in a few minutes. I don't know how I do this, but it always happens somehow. So as you can imagine, like, I can do the small talk stuff. I can do it and I like it sometimes, but I am in need of trusting people who I can trust, who trust me. Like, that energy is reciprocated. And like, I'm a dancer, I love to dance, but like partying and all that stuff, I like it sometimes, but not too much, right? I'm quite a homebody. I love to learn. I'm very creative. I'm pretty spiritual, right? This is my job. I love to read energy. I'm a psychic. And everything surrounding consciousness, being in the here and now, making yourself happy, dating yourself, that's my thing. So I'm not going to allow people who drain me, who are trying to convince me of being a certain way, into my circle, right? Because I know who I am, I know what I need, I know what I like. And so I have done that in the past, but until a certain point, right? So knowing what it is that you need is going to really help you clarify the kind of friends that you want. Don't get me wrong, there are a lot of friends around me who are not like me. I have friends who love to party all the time, right? If it came down to it, they would be partying every day. I don't mind that. I love that about them, like, good for them. I have a lot of fun with them. And then there are also friends of mine who are not creative, who are not into spirituality, and that is totally okay too. Like, I can have beautiful conversations with them. They're super open-minded, right? They make space for me. I can be myself, they can be themselves, and that's just why it works, right? So not coming to say like everybody that you should have in your life must be a copy of you. I don't like that at all. That those people will just be like yes people, and I don't think that that's healthy personally. But that depends on what it is that you need, right? So, for example, I used to think that I would love to have more spiritual people in my circle. And no matter how hard I tried to manifest those people, it didn't really work. I did meet some people through Instagram, for example, who reached out to me. And we did some like networking stuff. They were also online business owners. There was also this thing with business owners where you can give your product and then the other one gives their product, and then there is just this exchange. And I don't think that that's necessarily a good beginning to a friendship. I think that that's more like networking. But those spiritual people and me, that balance wasn't right because we started off networking but called it friendship. So that taking and giving is also something to consider, right? Is someone more taking? Is someone more giving? And then also there are seasons of life, and so sometimes you will give more and sometimes you will take more, but still it needs to feel good, right? If something doesn't feel good, you need to be able to talk about it. And that's the only way that it is going to be a safe space for each other. Otherwise, you will be expecting things, holding on to things, holding grudges, right? That's not a healthy place to be. And so for me, having spiritual friends has been kind of this journey where I used to think that spiritual people were like the most loving people and all love and light, but spiritual people are just people, and that does not really mean anything. Spiritual people can just be as backhanded and wrong as not spiritual people. And so that's also why I like to have different kind of people around me, because it doesn't matter. It's about the person, not about the label. And so I now do have some spiritual friends around me, and that is so lovely. But it took me a few years to find people that I felt I could really trust. And so if you are struggling to find your people, if you maybe you're on the same path, right? You also want more spiritual people in your life, and there are just not a lot around, or more creative people, or whatever it may be. You know of that desire, but speaking it out loud might be a little bit difficult because maybe you just think that it's really hard. And I've totally been there. I've also talked about this with my friends. Finding new friends when you are older can be quite hard, right? When you're in college, when you're in school, you can easily find each other because you spend a lot of time with the same people. So I recognize that you don't really need that. It's more about being expressive about who you are, being vulnerable first, and trying new things. And of course, this also depends on what you're comfortable with. I just find in my own life that if I am opening up a space within what I'm comfortable with, where I share something of myself, of my life, that other people are pretty easily willing to do the same, right? It's just like you're opening up the space, showing a little bit of who you are, and so other people can come in, see you for who you really are, and then respond to that. If I'm going to be criticizing someone or really hide myself, that person is not really able to see the real me, and the criticizing only closes my heart and makes me step away from people, right? So it's about stepping in the ring to meet each other at the same level. It's like not putting yourself above or under someone when it comes to how valuable you both are, right? So for me, this has also been a struggle where I grew up and I learned from a lot of beautiful souls, a lot of beautiful people who have such a big heart, are so talented. And like everybody has this where they kind of just portray those people to be better than them, right? But that is not the truth. And I love that I've been able to rewrite this story because I am now amongst those people as well, where I can recognize within me that I can learn from them and they can learn from me. It's not about being better or being worse. It's just about being open for each other's stories and seeing each other as equal, right? So a way that I learned to do this, if I saw myself comparing myself to someone else, and it's kind of a visualization exercise where you see yourself and the other. Also, this exercise you can do with someone that you have a problem with as well, to kind of make that maybe angry feeling or sad feeling a little bit lighter, to just stop the blaming and the shaming. But that's beside the point. Let's say that you have someone in mind that you would love to be friends with, but you're kind of scared to approach, or you are putting yourself beneath them, right? You can imagine them standing next to you with a little bit of space between you and that person. And then with every inhale, you see yourself as a ball of light. Stick with me, this really works. So every inhale, you see this ball of light around you growing a little bit bigger. And with every exhale, you see the ball of light also around that other person. With every exhale, their ball of light is also growing. So you can imagine that with every inhale, your ball of light grows bigger, and with every exhale, their ball of light grows bigger. You have a special kind of energy that is growing. They have a special kind of energy that is growing, but you both inspire each other. You're kind of excluding ranks or judgment here. And you're just seeing with every inhale how they inspire you, and that grows your light. And with every exhale, they inhale your light and are inspired by that as well. So you're both kind of feeding each other's lights. I hope that makes sense. But what this does to me is just realize that, yeah, we all inspire each other, and we are not different from each other because we are just human, right? So I've used this with a lot of people that I looked up to, and now some of those people have told me that they also look up to me, which is wild to me. But yeah, it's truly about changing your beliefs. If you believe that you are a lesser than, you're going to behave in that way as well. It's like a specific body odor. Like, you can hide it, but people can smell insecurity on you, right? They can smell it if you are putting them above you. And that just makes other people treat you differently. And you don't want that, but those other people also don't want that because it feels uncomfortable. So if you're doing that, don't blame yourself while I'm saying this. It's so normal. I've done this many times before as well. But I also want to remind you that we're all just people, and I love to help people who have questions, who are not on the same path as me. And I've also come to realize that people who I might have thought were better than me wanted to help me, and after I reached out, and were just so kind and normal to me as well, right? And so if this is not something that you struggle with, amazing. Like, I would love for you to reach out to more people who you find inspiring and just strike up a conversation to see, like, if you can learn from them, if you can offer them something as well to get to know them better. So you can expand that circle of people that you find inspiring. I also think that the people that we find inspiring are also a reflection of who we are. It's like we recognize something in that person that we really like, which we would like to have as well. And as with all the things that we want to manifest, all the things that we admire, it's something that sparks something within us, right? And so that means that there is already something growing there that we want to grow towards as well. Those other people are just reflections of what we want for ourselves. And so it's amazing if you can experience more of that by befriending someone who has those traits or has that life or whatever it may be. Just to have them as an example for yourself to be like, yeah, that's possible for me too. And you will see that if you share that those people can also really help you affirm that, right? I have some friends who also love manifesting, and they're like, yeah, of course that's possible for you too. Where I will be like, okay, but how? And like, am I really able to do that? And they're just like, I cannot really like see it for you. Don't doubt it, right? Those are the kind of confirmations that I need. Those are the kinds of friends that help me see more possibilities instead of people who are just going to say like, that's not realistic or whatever, right? So knowing what you need. I know that I need those friends because I love manifesting and I know that it works. I sometimes doubt it too. And so it's wonderful to have people who can affirm it to you, right? I would recommend that if you have friends around you who do kind of diminish your light, who are like, that's not realistic or whatever, to not talk about your dreams too much. I've done this as well, and I found that it just made me really insecure and doubt my ability to manifest those things, and to only talk about those things with people who you know are truly like able even to only just listen and say like, oh, that's such a wonderful idea, but not judge it or put their stamp on it, right? Because that's just their fears and not what is possible for you at all. I'm also now just thinking about something that one of my friends said, who is also kind of on this journey of letting some old people go. And I'm so happy that I found her like last year or something. And she said like, it's so important to have people around you that feel like a breath of air. And other people kind of just feel like sucking the life out of you, right? So I want people around me, she said, who give me that air. And I thought that was so beautiful. And that is exactly what I'm trying to say here. Like, why would you want people around you who are testing you, who are diminishing you and draining you, if there are also people out there who can give you this breath of fresh air of life, of inspiration and encouragement? So one of the things that I did to manifest these people is to kind of make a list of what I needed, right? So in the beginning, I asked you, how does it feel to be around the people in your life right now? And what is it that you need? And I found that while looking for my dream friends, which I thought were my spiritual friends, but it turns out that that's not necessarily the case, because I found all these qualities that I had written down in different kinds of friends, which I think is so amazing. So what I mean by this is like, maybe you need someone to have more fun with, who really takes you out of your comfort zone, right? And then another friend who really affirms certain parts of yourself that you're really insecure about, who kind of just takes you out of that headspace and shows you how they see you, right? And then maybe another friend who like really knows you and you're able to go really deep with them, right? Or maybe someone else who just makes you feel grounded, who doesn't take a lot of things seriously, you can just laugh with, right? Some of the things, those are some of the qualities that my different friends have, but I just listed them as what I need in a friend, right? And then you also, like, this is a lot like episode 2, Are Our Standards Too High, where I'm talking about making a list for your dream partner as like your non-negotiables. Also make a list of non-negotiables for your friends, because I swear to you, if you write that down, you are going to find the people who are truly who you need. So through some shitty experiences in the past with past people, I felt that I really needed to be myself fully and not hide anymore. And so I didn't hide anymore. I was so much myself that now that I'm thinking back on it, and honestly, I was in this situation where I really didn't give a shit anymore. So that also helped me. So I get that might not be the same case for anyone else. But yeah, I just had this moment of going through a heartbreak and meeting new people and just being blunt and honest about who I was. And so, not that blunt, but like, yeah, I truly didn't really give a shit. I was like, you're going to accept me and like me for who I am, or we're just not a good fit, right? So yeah, that's truly how I then manifested 4 of my friends. Yeah, like 4 within a year or something. This also correlates with stepping out of your comfort zone. Like, I also think that that is one of the best manifesting methods, to truly just step out and share your truth so others can recognize you for who you truly are. And that same energy, that is what you will attract, right? And I also made this kind of deal with the universe where I was like, I do not want people like this and this in my life again. So please make me, please let me know like who is right for me and who isn't. So establishing really good boundaries with who you are and what you need is really important as well. So sometimes we go through phases where other people want to be our friends, and then other periods of our life we find people that we want to be friends with, right? I find that it's only when either parties are equally excited to be each other's friends where it goes well. I found that if I needed to do a lot more in order to please the other person in the friendship, to be excited about the friendship, that it was not going to end well. And this has always been the case, and that is that balance that I talked about. So the difference between only giving and only taking, there is a fine line between that, right? It's pretty hard to see sometimes when you're a people pleaser, when you're over giving just because maybe you're used to it. Maybe people expect you to. But with new friendships, I find that you can easily spot it in the beginning as well, where you feel that the other person kind of already pushes and pulls you so they can get more of you, or they can just kind of get their point across and make you feel a little bit smaller in doing so. If that is the case, I don't think that that is a real soul kind of friendship, because I've noticed that with people that I do not have that with, that it just goes really easily. It's just like with other relationships. I think that friendships are so valuable and can go really deep. They're really intimate relationships as well. And so if someone is trying to make you work for it, I don't think that that's healthy. I don't think that that's normal. And I don't think that you should stick up with that, because there are people out there who don't make you work for their friendship. And I think that this is the most important thing when looking for soul friends, is that it's not about putting in a lot of work. And I don't mean like don't invest in the relationship. Yes, absolutely do, but it doesn't feel like work. If you have friends who love you equally as much, or are just as curious about spending time with you, getting to know you as you do, it's going to feel easy. It's not going to be difficult. And that is just the way that you want it to be, right? And this is exactly why I recorded that episode about the sister wound, the friendship wound, where some of us are so used to giving a lot and not receiving the same, or working for love. And this has been my story as well. I used to think that I needed to give, and then only then I was worthy of love. That is bullshit, but I did not know it was bullshit. So this is kind of a pattern that kept repeating in my life. And that was so sad when I look back on it, because I'm just as good as you are, and you are just as good as I am. And so you do not have to work for spending time with me, right? Just as I do not have to do that for you, right? It's just about our company. It's just about having fun. And that seems like total fucking common sense, but somehow some people are feeling that you need to fill a hole in their soul and make you work for that just because they think that they deserve that. And that's not the case, because they are the own leader of their own life, and so they should take care of that hole in their soul by themselves. Because why is that hole there? How can they fix that? Not by other people. they can fix that by looking into themselves. What is their pain? What are they avoiding? Why are they needing to have other people fill up that hole, right? And so don't take that personally if someone is trying to make you work for it, because they're just running away from their own frustrations, their own maybe loneliness, because they cannot really, I don't know what that might be, but I've recognized within people that I've spent a lot of time with working for that love, that they did not feel good enough, that they looked up to me, that they try to compare and then diminish my light, which is not really useful in any kind of situation. And so don't take that personally. Just know that that is their problem, not yours. And there are people out there who want to make you shine even more. Truly, there are. Luckily, I found people who are like that as well. It's just amazing to make other people feel good and not take everything personally, to not compare and compete. Like, there is no need for that, because that costs a lot of energy. You only need to do that if you feel really insecure about what you have to give, right? And there is also no shame in that, because like I said, I used to think that I was only worthy of love if I gave a lot, right? And so those people might not feel worthy of love either, and that's why they behave that way. Doesn't mean that you have to put up with it, right? Because what are those things that you need, and what are the people in your space now giving you? Would you like to change that? What needs to happen in order to change that? Do you feel good enough to attract that in your life? Do you feel ready? Do you feel worthy of those kinds of friendships, right? And this is applicable to any kind of relationships. This is something that you can also apply to romantic relationships. Wow, that is also another ball game. But yeah, it kind of comes down to feeling worthy of loving people around you who respect you, who see you, and who give you life instead of drain it, right? So to just kind of sum it up, because I know that I can get into a lot of different topics while talking about a topic. It's about stepping out and not giving a shit, because other people can truly see you when you are really being yourself. And this also has to do with being vulnerable, not in the sense that you're kind of trauma dumping on someone, not at all, because nobody likes that, but more in the sense that you can open up as much that other people can truly see the real you, how you're truly feeling, what you're really thinking behind maybe the mask of, yes, I'm doing fine, right? That's not how you really truly get to know someone. So by showing a little bit more of yourself, the real people can see that and recognize that and feel like, yes, you are someone that resonates with me. Also, don't try to compare yourself too much to others. Some people can surprise you in who they really are, what they have to give. Like, my friends are not people that with my manifesting list I would easily pick out, because they on the surface level don't really match my list, but when I look at what I really needed in that list, my friends have it. They all complement like the non-negotiables. They are truly what I wished for. And so knowing what you are wishing for helps you to stay on track, because I've also come across people that wanted to be my friend but who were not matching that list. And it's not like I want to exclude people, but I've had experiences with people in the past who did not respect my boundaries, where that giving and taking was out of order. And so I just say no to those people, not because I think that they're a bad person, but because I value the space that I feel with the people around me, because I know that I'm going to be a reflection of those who I spend the most time with, because that space is very valuable, and pouring into your relationships, into your friendships, requires a lot of energy. And so it's also okay to say no if you already feel that it's not going to be a match, because that only opens up a door for someone who truly matches you to come into your life. If we say no to something that does not resonate, you get more specific and you are able to tell the universe in a more clear way that you want something better. And then when you are able to be specific about that, that better is going to come in, because you now feel worthy of that, because you made a point out of it that that is what you want, right? If you're going to accept the scraps, the breadcrumbs, you're only going to get more of that, right? So you don't want that. You are going to have to say no to certain people to attract who it is that you truly want into your life. So don't compare too much. Be open-minded, be yourself, and get out of your comfort zone. So what I did is I went to women's circles, I went to book readings, I went to classes, I went to workshops, whatnot. And that is where I found also at my work, I've befriended 2 colleagues. So you never know where those people can come from. My friends came really unexpected to me, and I also had friends from the past reach out to me as well. And it doesn't have to be that you have to wait for other people to come to you. Like, for sure, just open up to someone or share a story with someone, or just say like, hi, I think that you're pretty awesome. Like, would you mind grabbing a drink after whatever? Or can we exchange phone numbers, right? Let's talk about this a little bit more. It might seem cringy to do that or scary or whatever, but I find that most of us crave more friendships. Maybe you find yourself surprised that the other person would love to get to know you more, because like, who doesn't want more friends? So don't be afraid to reach out, because I think that sisterhood, or like knowing people who can support you or say good things behind your back, can go a really long way. So you might be surprised at how easy it is if you try to connect with someone and want to get to know them more. Just be honest about who you are, and then it's not really hard to find your people, because they will see themselves within you and recognize that and feel safe around you as well. I think that that's the most beautiful thing, when we are able to really open our hearts, be true about who we are, what we need, and then it should not be hard. It will go easily. If you are just specific about what you want to attract, don't settle for anything less than you deserve, then it's definitely going to come your way, because those people want to meet you as badly as you want to meet them. I know that with my friends now. Like, one of my friends, we just discussed, like, I'm so happy that we finally found each other, because she was trying to manifest me as much as I wanted to manifest her, and now we found each other. So don't compromise. Your people are out there for sure. Just keep being you. That's all that you need to do. You don't have to work for the love, for the friendship, whatever. You're already good enough. If this is something you struggle to believe, if you had similar stories, old stories like mine, about working for love or comparing yourself to other people, I've done a lot of work around healing this, and I put this in a really fun bundle for you to work on this yourself as well. I guide you through the whole process. There are a few videos with rewriting your story, which I do through EFT tapping, which is the most fucking powerful thing. And it changed my life forever, because it does rewrite your neural pathways in your brain. So neural pathways are beliefs that you think a lot. And it's easy for you to keep thinking those, because those beliefs become a neural pathway, which is a pathway in your brain that your brain falls back on easily. So if you rewrite a neural pathway, if you change a neural pathway into a new belief, that is what you will be falling back on. So this is how I leveled up my confidence, how I let go of that comparison, and also started attracting these lovely friends that I now have and other people into my life as well, because I recognized that I was worthy of that, and so it was ready to come into my life. If you don't feel ready, if you don't feel worthy, you're automatically going to postpone those people coming into your life, or you will attract them and then self-sabotage, right? The anxious attachment style might come in, where you push those people away because you don't feel worthy. And so I don't want that for you. I want you to feel confident and worthy. And so check out my confidence and worthiness bundle. I will link it in the show notes to get to rewriting your neural pathways. It's a really fun process that I take you through. And this way you can level up in many other areas in your life as well. This also works for manifesting more work opportunities or romance or unexpected opportunities, whatever, because if you feel worthy, all those things are automatically attracted to you as well. So check it out in the description. I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening to this episode. Let me know what you thought of it. Leave me a review on this podcast if you want to help me out, reach more people. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day or evening, and speak to you soon. Bye!